So let's talk about a fairly common trope in the comic book world, legacy characters. A legacy character is whenever a newer character takes on the title and appearance of another after they have died or retired in order to preserve their legacy. Some well-known examples in comics would be when Wally West took on the title of Flash after Barry Allen died, Dick Grayson became Batman after Bruce Wayne seemingly died, Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson both took on the title of Captain America after Steve Rogers died and then retired respectively, long story, and Scott Lang took on the title of Ant-Man after Hank Pym abandoned it to become the Yellow Jacket. And then the Scientific Adventure. And then the Wasp. And now Ultron, kind of. Hank Pym has a weird history. But starting in 2011 with the introduction of Miles Morales in Ultimate Fallout No. 4, legacy characters started to take on a different and much needed direction by including more diversity within these legacy roles. The aforementioned Miles Morales is the first Afro-Latino person to take on a major legacy title in the form of Spider-Man. An alternate universe at first, but later integrated into the main continuity in 2015. The success of Miles would inspire a new wave of legacy characters that would push this diversity in a revamped movement known as Marvel Now. These legacy characters would include fan favorites inheriting new roles, such as the aforementioned Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, the first African American to inherit the title, and Amadeus Cho becoming the first Korean American Hulk. It would also introduce new characters such as Riri Williams, who would become Ironheart, the first African American woman to take on Iron Man's role. These diverse characters got an unfortunately predictable backlash from a lot of entitled white comic fans who think that their favorite heroes should be white and white only. That if they really want to push for diversity, they should just make their own characters. This is still a pretty common argument now, by the way, and a topic for another day. But just gonna point this out, they never say they should make a new character whenever Whitey does it, and they tend to throw a fit when new characters get introduced anyway, so there's really no winning here. These characters saw various different levels of success, with several eventually returning their titles back to their original owners. But some saw so much love and appreciation that they not only got to keep their legacy titles, but completely reshaped it into their own image. Which brings us to our main topic for today, Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, created by Marvel editors Sam Emmett and G. Willow Wilson, with art by Adrian Alphona and Jamie McKelvey. Kamala Khan is actually the fourth person to hold the Miss Marvel title, with the original being Carol Danvers, who currently holds the title of Captain Marvel, another legacy character of sorts. This was followed by Sharon Ventura in the 80s and then Carla Sofa in the late 2000s, but the title reverted back to Carol both times. Kamala Khan took on the mantle on her own series in February 2014, and is not only the first Muslim character to take on the mantle of a major superhero, but also Marvel's first Muslim character to headline their own book. This Miss Marvel would soon become a massive success, winning her a Hugo Award, a Disney Plus series, and becoming the protagonist of Marvel's Avengers. And say what you will about the game, she was still the best part of it. But all of that begs the question, what makes this character such a huge hit with readers? What makes her so likable and appealing? What makes her arguably one of the best new characters Marvel has put out in years? While there are certainly many arguments you can make as to the reason behind this character's popularity, I would argue that Miss Marvel's appeal is her very real and very humbling struggle with discovering who she wants to be in a world that tries to tell her who she should be. To explain this further, let's examine G. Willow Wilson's original 19-issue run. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through the whole thing beat for beat, just the first arc and the important parts. And also, I'm going to be saying a lot of phrases and names that have cultural pronunciations that I'm not very familiar with, so if I mispronounce anything, I apologize in advance. Kamala Khan starts her story at the local store called the Circle Q in Jersey City with her best friend Nakia and her other best friend Bruno, who happens to work at the store. While she's actively ogling a tasty-smelling BLT, debating on whether or not it's worth breaking her religious customs, she's interrupted by a local ignorant white girl who thinks they're cultured and jock meathead named Zoe and Josh respectively. Josh invites the group to a party happening at the water.